Welcome back, everyone. It's Dina Calmetta here. And for today's broadcast, I do have some headlines I'd like to share with you. And I'd like to start with Israel first, as it is being reported that Israel has threatened a possible strike on Iran if Biden chooses to rejoin the nuclear deal. The report goes on to read that Israel's military chief on Tuesday warned that Iran's uranium enrichment of up to 20% purity could mean that the country was months, maybe even weeks away from obtaining a bomb. Earlier this month, Iran announced that it was enriching uranium at 20% purity. Once 20% purity is reached, it is a short technical step for centrifuges to obtain weapons grade 90% enrichment or even higher. The military chief stated that no one has any doubt Iran hopes, wants, identified, and built the capabilities necessary to be a military nuclear power, and maybe even use them when it decides it wants to. There needs to be serious effort so that by the end, there won't not only be a bomb, but there won't be ability to rush to a bomb. He warned against Joe Biden's plans to re-enter the 2015 nuclear deal. The military leader added that rejoining the deal would likely trigger a nuclear arms race in the Middle East with other countries, like Saudi Arabia, jostling for a bomb to maintain the balance of power. He revealed that he had ordered his forces to lay the groundwork for strikes against Iran. He said that Iran can decide that it wants to advance to a bomb, either covertly or in a provocative way. And in light of this basis analysis, I have ordered the IDF to prepare a number of operational plans in addition to existing ones. We are studying these plans and we will develop them over the next year. The government will, of course, be the one to decide if they should be used. But these plans must be on the table and in existence and trained for. Finally, it reports that a senior Iranian official on Wednesday dismissed the IDF's warnings, but stressed that Iran would defend itself against any attack. In the meantime, the Times of Israel is reporting that the Biden administration announced on Tuesday that it was renewing U.S. relations with the Palestinian leadership and restoring credible engagement with the Palestinians as it works towards a two-state solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Richard Mills, the acting U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, told the UN Security Council that under the new administration, the policy of the United States will be to support a mutually agreed two-state solution, one in which Israel lives in peace and security alongside a viable Palestinian state. In order to advance these objectives, the Biden administration will restore credible U.S. engagement with the Palestinians as well as Israel. This will involve renewing U.S. relations with the Palestinian leadership and the Palestinian people. Now, with this news on the table, the Russian Foreign Ministry backed a Palestinian proposal for a Middle East peace conference, saying at the UN that it could be held at a ministerial level in the spring or summer. He also noted that Moscow remained ready to host a meeting between Israel and the Palestinians in the Russian capital at the highest levels. Finally, it reports that on Tuesday, nearly all who spoke at the Security Council meeting reaffirmed the need for a two-state solution under which Israel and the future Palestinian state would coexist. So definitely some very prophetic headlines there, especially in regards to peace and stability. It almost seems like prophecy has gone into overdrive in the last week with this new administration. But as always, I will continue to follow these reports and bring you updates. But I would like to move on and talk about what's happening in the Black Sea. Apparently, 2 U.S. ships moved into the Black Sea.
Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Harakakadash. Double honor to all the elders and apostles, the GMS that taught me this truth. Peace and shalom to my fellow Akim that are pushing this truth with honesty and sincerity, man. Shalom. This is just going to be another quick episode of going into news and prophecy, man. All right, the world is at war. All right, as you see, Israel is threatening Iran, which America is going to follow as well. And even though there's peace talks between, quote unquote, supposed to be peace talks between Joe Biden and Vladimir Putin, that's not going to stop prophecy from being from prophecy coming forth, man. And ultimately, America will be destroyed by thermonuclear fire, and there will be war, man. All right, there's no way around it, man. There will be war. Okay, and so this is Jeremiah 49 and 20. Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord Yahweh that he have taken against Edom, and his purposes that he have proposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. All right. And so they really want all of Iran's natural resources, and they want the control of the Iran and Syrian regions, man. Okay. But neither one of those people, neither one of those nations belong in that land, because that land was given to us. But it's ultimately going to be destroyed, man, and we're going to have to build again, start new. All right. And so we see Israel kind of just showing you that these presidents are just puppets, and we really know the men of the Lord and the women of the Lord really know and really understand who really calls the shots. Okay, and that's Israel. All right, on the left hand side of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. Okay, and we all know this one. This is First Thessalonians. Yeah, right there. First Thessalonians 5:3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Who's it? They, the 2/3, and the heathen nations, man. Okay, the heathen nations. Verse 4. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that the day should overtake you as a thief. No, we're not in darkness, man. All right, we are in the light, and we see and understand what's going on, man. All right, we see through the prophecies of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai what time it is, man. All right, and it's time for war. Okay. What else did I have here? Let's see what else I had here. That's pretty much it for right now. We'll go back into more of the video.
See on Saturday for a drill with NATO, which is really kind of Russia's backyard. But the report goes on to read that Commander Matthew Kernan, the Donald Cook's commanding officer, said in a statement that I was impressed with the crew's growing familiarity with NATO joint interoperability procedures, readiness to cooperate with friendly units, and excitement to perfect our technical proficiency by real-world application. This is exactly what we train for, and the opportunity to perform alongside ally surface and air assets is rewarding. So this has definitely perked up Russia, with Russia state media reporting on Saturday that Moscow was monitoring the Donald Cook. In the meantime, over in the South China Sea, China said on Tuesday that it will conduct military exercises in the South China Sea this week. And it comes just days after Beijing was bristled at a U.S. aircraft carrier group's entry into the disputed waters. A notice issued by the country's Maritime Safety Administration prohibited entry into the portion of waters in the Gulf of Tonkin to the west of the peninsula in the southwestern China from January 27th to January 30th. The announcement of the drills in the Gulf of Tonkin, just east of Vietnam, came as a Southeast Asian country opened up a key Communist Party Congress in Hanoi. Finally, it reports that China on Monday complained that the United States frequently sends aircraft and vessels into the South China Sea to flex its muscles, and said that such actions are not conducive to peace. And
that's right. Flexing his muscles. Jeremiah 50:23. How's the hammer of the earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon, which is America, okay, become the desolation among nations? All right. And so the other nations are eventually going to get tired of America flexing and showing out, which is why Iran will continue to build enrichment, and they don't give a damn what the other countries think. They're going to do it, man. They don't care. They're going off the spirit of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and they're going to continue to build and uh, make nuclear weapons, man. All right, because again, it's prophecy, man.
Stability. in the region. In the meantime, here in the U.S., the continued presence of at least 5,000 members of the National Guard in Washington, D.C. until March is being seen as unusual, unprecedented, unnecessary, and is in the danger of becoming akin to an occupation force, according to a former military intelligence officer. The retired Lieutenant Stephen Rogers suggested that the planned presence of thousands of Guard members, even after the inauguration of Joe Biden, which did see more than 26,000 troops on duty, is cause for concern. As of January 25th, about 13,000 Guard members remain in Washington. Now, apparently, the purpose of the National Guard is to supplement law enforcement agencies to help them with crowd control, to help them with enforcing laws, just to supplement their manpower. That job was done. But according to Mr. Rogers, this message to the American people is that it is slowly becoming an occupation force that is absolutely unnecessary. Rogers believes that the continued presence.
So you're seeing the beginning stages of martial law, man. You got Biden keep saying that he's going to roll out more Maxine Waters, and you have these executive orders that are going to get signed labeling people domestic terrorism. So you're going to have uproars of the people coming soon. All right. And so they're supposed to be there for an additional, these National Guard troops are supposed to be here for an additional 2 months. Anything could pop off, man. A false flag event could happen. Another shooting could happen here. There was one shooting in New Jersey of an undercover cop on camera shooting yet another Jake, man. So anything could happen, and they could disperse these troops.
Of the Guard personnel is political, given that the National Guard hasn't been deployed to handle the incessant riots and acts of violence that have been carried out across the country by the far-left Antifa group in recent days. Now, Rogers also stated that right now, I could only see this as political. What kind of a message is being sent? It's not a good message for our world leaders, and it's not a good message for the American people. There is an underlying issue, and that issue is the influence of communism, of socialism in this country, and the optics of troops in our capital doesn't fit well with the American people. And the only conclusion that I can draw on now is it's simply not healthy for America. It's not a good sight for anyone to see. It's time for these troops to come home. They're not cops, and they have to be combat ready. They have to be ready to fight wars. And may I add, they have to be ready to go to the areas of the country when they're called upon to help law enforcement agencies. Now, in addition to all of this, the doomsday clock remains at 100 seconds away from midnight. The Bulletin of the Atomic Scientist warns that the world remains in danger in 2021. Now, apparently, the clock is a symbol of just how close our planet is to disaster due to nuclear threats, climate change, and dangerous technologies.
Oh, man.
And finally, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security is citing the Capitol unrest to declare a heightened threat of domestic terrorism through April, saying that some individuals might be frustrated with the Biden administration. So certainly...
So see, that's why those troops are there, man. All right. That's what they're there for. Probably for a pre-planned event. We all know how Esau Edom likes to get down with this Hegelian dialectic style tactics, man. All right, create the problem and solution. So anything could happen, man. We're gonna get into the second address real quick. What's 15? Second address 15. Anything can happen at any day, man. All right, because I don't understand really why they have the troops still there unless they believe that something is gonna pop off, man. So we'll go to the second address, and we'll just start at 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. And you there's just a feeling of rebellion that's going to be coming towards the government, man. When you go back and you look at the videos of matter of fact, let's see if we can find some of those. When you go back, you look at the videos that are going on in these different foreign countries. All hell is breaking loose, man. Okay, They're clashing and riding with the police, man. Let's see if we can see some of those videos from yesterday. Yeah.
It's another one of those amazing technology days. Open it up in front of you.
In Lebanon, most people fear poverty more than the pandemic. The Wuhan virus has thrown Lebanon into a state of chaos. At least half of the country's population is currently living below the poverty line. Around a quarter of the population is living in extreme poverty. When the government announced a day and night curfew, people in Tripoli decided to protest. Here's more.
Tanks, tear gas, and
Salakia, y'all.
Tripoli is in a state of chaos. At least 45 people have been injured in overnight clashes. Scuffles broke out between security forces and civilians protesting against Lebanon's toughest lockdown. The country of 6 million has been hit hard by the Wuhan virus pandemic. Its economy has been battered. Nearly two.
And that's just one of the countries that was dealing with uproars. Let's see if we can find a few videos. Just going into the clashes. See here. There's Lebanon again. I think they're protesting in India as well, man. I think they're tearing shit up in India as well. Look, here we go in the Netherlands.
Netherlands witnessed more violent anti-lockdown protests, with the police having to detain well over 200 people as the riots continued for the third straight night. The protests were triggered by a night curfew that is aimed at curbing the COVID-19 pandemic. The mayor of a Dutch town called the people who took part in the violent protesters rioters, looters and also thieves.
Welkom. Als ik jullie allemaal hier ziet. Het was gisteren een pijnlijke avond voor ons allemaal. Pijnlijk, omdat we zagen hoe onze mooie stad, waar we met z'n allen trots op zijn, werd vernietigd door een aantal onverlaten, railschoppers, plunderaars en dieven. In een situatie waarin we met elkaar...
Here we go in India. Farmers. Farmers protesting.
As tanks in the heart of Delhi.
So, hey, man, you see the Lord's put the spirit on people to rebel, man.
This is the majestic red fort overrun by hundreds of so-called farmers. The leaders of the farmers' protest wasted no time in dissociating themselves from this. Now let's show you how public property was vandalized. These are state-run buses being hit by the tractors.
Actually, let me see if I can go back to the other video.
There are many clips telling many such stories, but you do get the big picture. These farmers are protesting against India's new farm laws. There have been multiple rounds of talks with the government, but the stalemate continues. To demonstrate...
I think it was under this one. Salakia, y'all. This is stupid, man.
Netherlands witnessed more
Yeah,
violent...
the video under here. COVID riots and protest. Just so their curfew lasted one day before they start riding, man. Okay, and with those restaurants being closed down since October and December, that's gonna create some poverty, man. All right, but don't worry because the Davos group today at the World Economic Forum, basically, and I wanted to do a video on that. I couldn't find the detailed article that the brother went over, but at the Economic World Forum or the World Economic Forum, Slovakia, they're basically coming up with a UBI, you know, a universal basic income. And I just did a video, I believe it was Monday going over that, man. And so a lot of people are going to be with it and hit with it that don't know and don't understand. All right, that this is all about the Great Reset and that there's no old normal. This is the new norm. All right, riots and you being detained for riots and silenced for your free speech and you being forced to do all this other shit, man. Okay, that's the new normal. All right, the government is in complete and total control. All right, this is what they're aiming for. Protest in Spain. So, man, the world is on fire, man. Again, woe to the world and to them that dwell therein. For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor their princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city, and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread, and for great tribulation, man. And that's what's getting ready to come. Again, we're just in the birth pains of this, man, the beginning stages of this, but something is there's gonna be an event to make everything boil over, man. All right, and send people out of control. Okay, so again, this was news and prophecy. So hopefully this lesson was edifying, man. Shalom.